You know, someone very profoundly once said, many years ago, that if fascism ever comes to America, it'll come in the name of liberalism.
Oh, beautiful, full spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed His grace on thee, and crown thy good with.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Patriots and Petticoats, it is my pleasure to welcome you aboard Flight 1776 with service to the United States of America and continuing service to a more perfect union. Federal regulations require that carry-on items are stowed prior to closing the aircraft door. Your items may be placed in an overhead compartment or completely under the seat in front of you. Use caution when placing items in or removing them from the overhead compartment, and let us know if we may assist you. In order to expedite the boarding process, please be seated as quickly as possible after stowing your items and take a moment to review the Constitution and Declaration of Independence located on the device in your pocket. If you are unable or unwilling to perform the functions as described on those documents, please let us know and we will find a more suitable destination for you. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to spending our evening with you. What is up, everybody? Welcome to Patriots and Petticoats. We are your hosts. You have myself, Heather, literally Heather, to those of you who know me on the internet, Eric and Chris. And we are coming to you on this beautiful Mother's Day this evening to tell you Happy Mother's Day. I asked the boys to please allow me the opportunity to share some words in celebration of Mother's Day, as our show pretty much revolves around citizenship, patriotism, and family, and the constant attack on all three of those things. I wanted to take a moment to recognize this day. The modern Mother's Day, as we know it today, was first celebrated in the United States in 1908 when Anna Jarvis, who was a social activist and a devoted daughter, organized a memorial for her mother, Anne Jarvis, who had passed away 3 years earlier. Anna Jarvis wanted to honor her mother's memory and her lifelong work as a peace activist and a community organizer. She campaigned to establish a national holiday to celebrate all mothers and mother figures and to promote the importance of motherhood and family values. Anna Jarvis's efforts paid off, and in 1914, President Woodrow Wilson signed a proclamation designating the second Monday in May as Mother's Day. The holiday quickly became popular worldwide, and today it is celebrated in over 100 countries. Motherhood, its journey, is unlike any other. It's a journey of growth, of love, and of self-discovery. And while it can be challenging at times, the rewards are immeasurable. There's something truly magical about holding your little one for the first time, feeling their tiny fingers wrap around yours and seeing their eyes light up at the sound of your voice. It's a feeling that is impossible to describe, and a feeling that fills your heart with a love that you never knew was possible. And as your child grows, so too does your love and admiration for them. Watching them take their first steps, hearing them say their first words, and seeing them develop into their own unique individual is a joy like no other. But motherhood is more than just the love you have for your child. It's about the lessons that you learn along the way. It's about the sacrifices that you make, the patience that you develop, and the strength that you find within yourself. And while there may be days that are tough, where their tears never seem ending and the exhaustion is overwhelming, there's something truly special about being a mother. It's the laughter, the cuddles, and the memories that make it all worthwhile. So, to all the mothers out there, know that your role is one of the most important in the world. You are shaping the future, one little life at a time. And while it may not always be easy, the joy and love that motherhood brings is beyond measure. Whether you're a mother by birth, an adopted mother, a stepmother, a soon to be mother, you are loved, you are valued, and you are vitally important. And we celebrate you on this day.
Yay,
That
moms.
is our start for the show.
I like it.
Thanks. Talk to me about how you guys celebrated Mother's Day. Or did you? Did you celebrate Mother's Day?
I just texted the moms I know. Like
That's
my
good.
sister.
What about you?
Celebrate at the ball field. Mother's Day softball tournament.
That's exciting. Very nice.
It was 52. It was about 48 to 52 and raining.
Oh, that's not nice then.
No, just lose. It's one and done.
Not baseball.
First
weekend.
tournament of the year. If we don't hang our hat on the YMCA Mother's Day tournament, okay, we're good. We'll take third. Let's go home and get some rest.
Yep.
Nice. Yeah, cold and rainy does not sound enjoyable at all.
No, they had a 4-cooler Bloody Mary train going on in the tents.
Wait, there's drinking at baseball games?
There's drinking at
Yeah,
every
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin event.
There's drinking
Oh.
at church. There's a
My
Bloody
bad.
Mary bar at every church. Come on.
I'm sorry.
We didn't
I'm
say
not used to
drinking.
that.
I said Bloody Marys.
We organize kickball leagues just
Not like
around
they
the
weren't-
idea of drinking.
They weren't taking shots off of titties. Just
Oh,
tomato
wow.
juice and vodka with a venison stick stuck in it. That's
Breakfast
totally,
of champions.
Totally normal.
Totally normal. That's crazy.
It'd be abnormal to not drink.
Quickly to the people who have joined us in the chat. Happy Mother's Day, Heather and all the moms on the stream watching. Thank you, Joey. Lexi with her hearts. Lexi sent me a beautiful Mother's Day gift today. Thank you to Lexi
gorgeous.
for
Wow.
being so wonderful.
Well, I identify as a mom. What the fuck?
We outrank Hogwarts Legacy tonight. That's yeah, and a big shout out to all the dads doing both jobs, or we just do that to fathers on Father's Day. That's
we
right.
just do that for
Never mind.
for Dad's Day. Just make dads feel bad.
Yeah,
or
no,
do we-
Father's Day is Father's Day. Mother's Day is Mother's Day. There's none of this birthing person or any of that
It
shit on
seems
this
like
show.
on Father's Day, it's a whole bunch of shout out to all the moms that do both jobs.
Yeah.
No, you don't. It's not a mom that
Yeah.
can do
Also,
both
you
jobs.
just had
You're
Mother's
doing
Day.
a job of a mom without a father. I mean, that's what you're doing.
Right. Ooh, let's talk about that. So,
Ridiculous. And one before this
go ahead.
little idea flees my mind, because it will. Sometime I want to have Rudy on,
Oh, okay, for sure.
if he will.
Yeah.
What's most annoying is the very transparent guys who are just trying to sleep with these single moms. We're like, shout out to all the single moms on Father's Day. We know you're doomed. Like, dude,
Oh
come
man.
on. Don't lower yourself to that.
Why
But that's
is it that
that's a large dartboard that you're throwing out on the internet. You might get
Yeah.
laid.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's the thing. 60% of the time, it works every time.
So why do you guys think that there's not this massive group of men who are raising children independently?
There
Coming
is.
out
They
on-
just don't have to fucking.
No,
talk
that's what
about
I'm
it.
saying. They're not coming out and like televising, hey, I'm a single dad on Mother's Day doing both roles.
No.
Like
Because
the
they're
men
at
do
work.
not do that.
There's always something to do.
If you're doing this by yourself, you're probably at work.
So do you think that that's like a calling card? Like you guys are talking about the men that are at like shout out to all the single women. Do you think that's women like, oh, I'm doing a man's job. I need you to fill that role for me, daddy. Like, is
Don't
that what
forget
that
about me.
is?
It could be a multitude of things, but really what it comes down to is I think women are driven by feelings and they want people to feel what they're feeling. And men are like, it's fucking
They love a
Sunday.
good pat on the back. Most.
Yeah.
Most women love a good pat on the back.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. I mean, yeah. Yes. They want you to know what they're doing and how goddamn good they are because they're insecure as
And that
fuck.
they are a fucking
And they
rock
know they
star.
are fucking raising a goddamn train wreck in the living room. That is
You
on
are a
TikTok right now.
CEO and you are slaying and
they
crushing it.
are- let me just get it out here before the championship game her senior year. I'm by myself here, so if this doesn't work all the way out, I'm gonna
Yeah.
plant my excuse early and often.
Wow.
Could
Oh,
do
that's
that.
really
Was that a very
sad.
white patriarchal take or whatever? Patriarch take? Patriarchy. I'm a firm
Um,
believer that it takes two to raise a feral fuck, because that's
Yeah.
what they come out as, feral as fuck.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so you called you were talking about feral fucks last week on the show, or maybe it was the week before. I can't remember. But there was a commercial that came on television. I'm not fucking kidding you. Like, it was just on like a streaming, and it said, and these are our sons, and they're feral at the beginning, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, that's like, it's not a common term. You don't hear it a lot. And for it to just show up in an ad right after you were talking about it, I was like, that's fucking weird.
I'm a fucking trendsetter, Heather.
Apparently.
And it's
Apparently.
really not a trend, because most animals are born feral.
Yes. But it was just
So
weird to hear
yeah.
that in a commercial.
Anyways,
Okay, we're gonna talk. I
So-
want to remind me of the feral thing in a minute because I want to go back to that. I want to go through these chats real quick because they're building up. Rudy said the only thing Wilson did that was of any value.
Oh, Woody.
Woody.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know much about Woody Wilson.
I think he made Mother's Day, I think.
Jake said that sounds lit. I don't know what. Oh, the Bloody Marys at baseball, softball.
It is about
Rudy
the
says,
same.
hell yes. There's drinking at games. Apparently, Jake says he will not be watching the Rudy episode. If you want your our new segment that we're gonna start tonight, Eric, do you have something for that, by the way?
For the tinfoil hat one?
Yeah.
No, I just saw a picture of Hillary Clinton that looked like she was wearing a mask. Like maybe it wasn't Hillary Clinton. And I said, you know what? We need to look into this kind of stuff.
Okay, we'll
do
save
have
that.
one.
I thought we were gonna start that this week, so we may save that for next week. I got a couple I can throw
I'll
up
get
if I
into
need to.
masks this week. I'll learn all about them.
Okay.
And the lizard people beneath them.
But if we ever need somebody for the tinfoil hat segment, we can invite Rudy on just for that segment alone because he is nothing but a walking Faraday cage of tinfoil. Lexi said men don't need to compete with women like women think they should compete with men. Once again, men beating women in the category of not seeking attention. Rudy said Chris was robbed. He deserves a royalty.
Yep. If you're going to walk around saying feral children, we're going to need our peace.
Feral fucks.
Feral
I believe
fucks.
it.
EM.
Rudy said, I feel attacked. Okay, so let's go back to the feral fucks conversation real fast. So Chris, you had mentioned you believe that it's important for the home to be a two-parent home. And so it's interesting, like when the women come out and say, oh, I'm doing both jobs. They're not doing both jobs very well, because if you look at the fatherless children in today's society and the number of children doing unruly fucking things, would you argue or would you say that there's a correlation between those two things?
What? A correlation between what? Feral children and
between
a dad not
one
fucking
parent
whooping their
household
ass?
and
Yeah,
the children that are still
absolutely.
feral.
Yes. Here's the problem. A single mom household. All right. That single mom household either lives in a low income situation and works a minimum job where she can be at home and raise said child, or she's independently wealthy, or the dad is paying child support and he's independently wealthy. But let's take the mass. The mass is probably, and I don't know this for sure, but I'm gonna talk out of my ass for a minute. The mass is probably not getting child support. The mass is probably on some sort of government assistance and some sort of government assistance when it comes to housing. So they're probably not in the best neighborhoods. So here now we are at a massive disadvantage out of the gate. Massive.
Yep.
And now, so how do I break this down? So when I was a kid, so I'm 46 years old. I'm Gen X. So when I was a kid, divorce was just starting to really take off. All right. Like my parents, their parents stayed together.
Yeah.
So we haven't really seen generational single parent. We're just now witnessing what these mobs are starting to look like. We were unruly in the mosh pit, right? We were unruly at Woodstock 99. Okay. But we weren't unruly out in the streets too much like like just crazy criminal shit.
Right.
We were we just hadn't we were still socialized pretty much there. That break wasn't there yet. Then we had kids and there was a whole and divorce went and it keeps growing, right? And now we're having kids outside of wedlock in mass numbers, right? So now the single, and then our kid, so my kids, like my oldest is 24. Now my kids don't have kids yet, but a lot of her friends do, and they're single. So now we're third generation single parent without a dad. That's mom to mom to mom. That's really mom to grandma. It's mom to grandma and grandpa, mom to grandma, mom to grandma. It's kind of where we're at now. Is how I'm seeing this play out, and we're our IQs are dropping because I don't think I'm articulating. This is where Heather needs to come in. Like she has to listen to all my gibberish for 5 hours to make a 5-minute statement. But I guess what I'm trying to say is this is new for us in America.
Yeah. Uncharted.
We are not that far removed from Leave It to Beaver in all the neighborhoods. It's not that far.
We're not that far removed from hunter-gatherer, like tight-knit family units who needed each other to survive.
We're also not that far removed, in my opinion, of mob mentality.
Mm-hmm.
This is all in our DNA.
Yeah, there's some Salem witch trial energy, these days.
So when you don't have anybody and your mom is her second generation of not, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Nobody's our generation, when we got divorced, we went to grandma's house. Grandma and grandpa were still squared the fuck away.
Yeah.
Right.
Where does our kids' kids go? When grandma and grandpa haven't had a house in 2 generations. There is no house. Okay. There's no, there's no, my mom might be fucked up, but grandma and grandpa house never changed. The phone number never changed. Their fences never changed. There's my normalcy. Where's the normalcy now?
Shit,
now it's
yeah.
a big fucking crisis. It's just constant anxiety and depression, and you don't get that cut because of you're the victim. You're the victim. You're the victim. Well, we don't know what it's going to be, but we're watching it start to unfold, and it's a little scary.
So
did I go way too far on that?
No. That was good.
I also smoke. I also get stoned, so sometimes I can just go off.
No, it was good. You made a couple points in there that I want to kind of elaborate on. So number one, the sense of like the normalcy, like where are you going to go? How are you going to handle that situation? And I keep thinking back, like my grandparents are all dead. And so there's no grandparent for me to go back to. And my dad is dead. Like all that's left at this point is my mom. And, my brother's getting ready to have his second child. And so it makes me think about
but where 1 second, Heather, but you still have a mom alive.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And you guys are normal. So your normalcy is in your home.
Right.
So that's a little bit different than never even experiencing that.
Yeah.
Your grandma's at the strip club stripping. And your mom's waiting till she's old enough to do it, but she's not quite old enough yet. That's what, and I know we're going to laugh about that, but that's not that far off of some of the I mean, come on.
Well, now she starts an OnlyFans. She doesn't go to the strip club. But
but I'm just saying that we haven't been raised with a moral compass in a while.
I think
as a citizenry, our moral compass has been all fucked up.
OnlyFans is damaging the fabric like not many things have.
Yeah.
I think.
And And I think that that's something that a lot of people get really upset when you talk about. They're like, stop shitting on OnlyFans girls. Stop saying anything's bad about OnlyFans. And it's like, well, how much are you spending on OnlyFans right now? Because this sounds like projection to me. Really quick, I want to talk about, so we just got a comment over on Twitter and it says this Patriots form is shot show. I don't know if you just don't know how to speak English or write it and you're calling it a shit show, but welcome to the fucking party, brother.
What is
And
it?
I
What
hope
did I
you
miss?
enjoy the ride.
Maybe he was talking about the SHOT Show in Las Vegas.
What I miss?
Yeah, this isn't SHOT Show. We haven't talked about guns one time on here yet. But I wanted to the second thing that you touched on is when you were talking about how like in your generation that's when divorce started. What do you think changed that created or generated the move for more people to start getting divorced? Is it just that moral decay that where or that hedonistic society where you're trying to like seek something better all the time?
So, this I can get way down a rabbit hole, but hang on. What's up? Hang on. Go ahead. I got one of my kids. Just one. What's up, bro?
On the fly.
Come in here.
Yep. Okay, I'm gonna go to comments while he's talking to his daughter. Lexi said the generational point is good. Kids are 3 degrees from a functional father figure, and we're definitely starting to see how that plays. Jake said, "Who do I need to go cyberbully?" It's on the timeline, but don't cyberbully him. He can call it a shit show. That's okay, but just come in here and talk to us. We'll show you that it's not a shit show. Joey said, "Gonna say it. Porn is one of the greatest moral challenges of our day. OnlyFans normalizes selling one's soul to that industry."
Yes, you are giving up a lot when you decide to do that and take that money for it. Your kid has to go to school.
Okay, so let's talk about that for a moment, okay?
For one thing.
Yeah. So the internet is forever, right? So you're going out and you're selling these photographs of yourself for fucking 20 cents for a picture of my tits or whatever, right? And so there are screenshot capabilities. Like that's not like you might have sold it for 20 cents to this dude, but that dude now has access to that, right? And he could be creating an entire fucking portfolio of here's all the OnlyFans girls who I bought pictures from. And there are revenge porn laws and all of that stuff. But as I said it, the internet is forever. What if, from a blackmail perspective, you get a phone call 10 years down the road after it's found out that you have a child? And I'm going to send this to all the teachers in your kid's school or to your entire child's email list or whatever. Like,
There's
I
no
just
law
think
that's going to protect you from that, assholes.
in good conscience, like, why? Why is that the route that people, and I'm not trying to judge the people who choose to do that. That's not what I'm doing in this moment. But
I think they
am
don't
curious,
understand the deal they're making at that crossroads.
do you think that's what it is? Like they
think
just
they-
don't understand what they're saying yes to?
I think they're looking instant gratification because that's what we're all doing now. And they're either not thinking about 5 years from now or they're just convincing themselves that it's not that big of a deal. I don't know. Money's a hell of a
at
drug.
the Derby. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
Money is a hell of a drug. It makes people do crazy shit. And
But a lot of these girls aren't making that much money. It's a pipe dream, man.
Some
If
of
you
them
weren't
are.
on it, yeah, some are,
And
but
they
like
see
some
those.
influences are.
And it's just like the
Yeah.
multi-level marketing. They all think they're going to
Yeah.
be that girl.
Exactly. And what it comes down, well, I mean, not having a father. It's Mother's Day. I don't want to wrap everything about being
Yeah.
because both are equally essential. It's not fucking like it'd be great to have or man, that'd be nice. It's essential. It's essential.
It is essential. I agree wholeheartedly, and I don't think that it detracts away. I agree with you, Chris.
Yeah.
I think
No,
that's important.
I was saying God bless. I'm gonna keep going back to dads, but it's because dads are the quickest ones to be absent. I mean, in nature too. We're animals at the end of the day, so we're mammals. So it makes sense, but The problem. So back to the marriage thing and why the divorce is so rampant is I'll go back to women's rights. I don't mean to. So
It's okay.
somewhere between my grandparents and my parents, which would be the golden generation and then the baby boomers, somewhere in the fabric of commitment of where we place the level of commitment to work ethic started to tear away a little bit. I feel like I don't know, and I wish somebody in the chat, or if you guys could think about it, help me. Where did that start to tear just a little bit? Because once it started to go, it was a fucking dam broke, and commitment I feel has been something that the government has been after us for a long time, because we have all been committed to our families and communities and not to them. And they have broken our fucking commitment. They've broken our like doing what you say you're gonna do when you say you're gonna do it, and being where you say you're gonna be and when you're gonna be there is a lost fucking art these days. It's little things that have broken in the fabric of our level of commitment in this country. And I don't know, I'm not saying this right, and I understand that there's better words, but marriage is fucking hard work. It's not a honeymoon all the time. It's fucking hard, and it's heartbreaking sometimes, and sometimes it's glorious. And we're so fucking quick to just say fuck it nowadays. And I'm the same way, especially with women. I get so fucking frustrated because our brains don't all work the same, but it takes both.
You said that comment about commitment, and it's like, and I said this the other day, and I don't remember where I was. I don't remember what content I was creating when I was talking about this, but I was talking about women being conditioned to desire work more than motherhood, to desire ladder climbing and
The government.
Yes, girl,
well,
you're a CEO.
yeah, you're that boss bitch life, right? Like you're not anything unless you're chasing that paper or whatever. And
But
today,
you're paying
so
those taxes.
each year on Mother's Day, I always do like this little interview with the kids, and I ask them the same questions each year, but I like to kind of capture how their answers change over time. And when I asked my daughter, what do I really enjoy doing with my time? She said podcasting. And then when I asked Finnegan, what does mommy really enjoy doing? Finnegan said working. And I don't know if in his brain podcasting is working, if he's saying that's what that is, but I drop him off at daycare every morning, and he turns and looks at me, and we have, especially on Mondays, it's really fucking hard on Mondays for him to let go of me and let me leave, because we've had the whole weekend together, and now like he doesn't know if I'm going to come back. Did I have a bad time this weekend? Am I going to leave him there this time? And so he looks at me and he says, do you have to go to work? And he does not say his R's very good, but it's really fucking cute. And I'm like, yeah, buddy, I got to go to work. And it's like, I'm constantly telling him that I got to go work. I got to go to work. And it is I fucking hate that sentence more than any other sentence in the world. Because
you got to say you get to go to work and make it exciting. Like work is exciting. And then when he gets older, he gets to go to work. Then when he does get older, he's like, I'm going to go to work.
Yeah.
What happens when he gets there, though, and he realizes it's not fun, it's work?
He won't know that. Look at Riley. She makes sandwiches every day. She comes home. She's like, I had such a great day, Dad. I
There you
made
go.
this sandwich, and that's what I do when I come home. I worked on this. It was a badass day. That's it.
There it
It's
is.
just changed the perception.
You can always choose your attitude.
That's 100. You're in charge. You're running that.
There are so
Maybe
many
I'm not
things in this
conveying.
life.
Like I really, I do enjoy my job, but if I were to have both
Oh,
of
I get it.
those
I get
things
it.
in each of my hands, I would 100% choose to be a mother over working. And
Mm.
so that's what I'm talking about, is that I've been put in a position where I've chased that paper. Uh I have been in corporate America, won countless awards and accolades. I'm a production manager. Right now I'm an operations director. Like
No
I
big
have
deal.
held high ranking positions in corporate America, and not one of those positions has ever been as rewarding as a mother, as being a mother, as being there for my children. Not one of them. And so when you talk about this breakdown in the family and all of that, you said talking about women's movements and stuff like that. I feel like that's a huge fucking problem. The reason that we have, so I'm going to go to these points really quick. Joey said, we had a girl that did some porn in my freshman class in college. Literally everyone knew within hours of orientation starting. Jake said, I agree. A lot of dads step out, but there are also a lot of women that abuse the system
Mm-hmm.
and attempt to use kids as leverage to get money.
Yeah. My sister, she was a single mom and she got married, and she was basically sacrificing free school and all kinds of financial and assistance, free groceries. Essentially, was being punished for getting married as a single mom.
It's crazy.
Yeah, there's a lot of incentive to
Well, so I'll tell a
not have
story
a
really
man in the
fast.
house.
The first time that I ever encountered like this type of mentality or this type of situation, I was living in Birmingham, Alabama, and I was in this apartment. And so the apartments were tiered. There were 3 levels, and the top level was like the best apartment. So that's where I was living. Now, mind you, this was in 2008, 2009. I was only paying $525 a month for a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom house
Wow.
or apartment. Great price. And this woman
I'm
who
moving to
was
Alabama.
across the hallway from me had 3 children and a boyfriend who happened to have fathered those 3 children. They both drove Cadillac Escalades. He was a very well-known attorney, and they just weren't married. They were raising their kids together. They were living together. Their apartment was subsidized in Alabama at the time. I don't know if this law has changed, so all my Alabama people don't be like, "Oh, that's not true." So
He
at the
wasn't on the
time,
lease.
Section 8 housing was, instead of it being like a specific area or a specific unit, all housing was Section 8 housing from an equality perspective. So if you wanted to live in a nicer part of town, but you couldn't afford the prices there, it was subsidized for you. So her apartment was, for her and her 3 kids and her boyfriend, who wasn't her husband, was $124 per month
Wow.
for that same unit right across from me. And I'll never forget when we went to the grocery store. I had gone and happened to see her in there. She was right in front of me in the line. We were talking. It was Memorial Day weekend, and she was getting food for the party. And I watched her use her food stamps card and get $600 worth of hamburgers, steaks, all of that stuff. And it was not for her kids. It was for a party that they were having with all of these people that were coming over, because that was just
Mhm.
free money for them.
Yep.
And so that for me was like the first time where I was just like, wait a minute, you mean this system is abused? This was where I was like, I was just fresh out of college thinking that, this was a good society where these programs are used
Aw.
properly. And it kind of crushed me a little bit.
Yeah, a real reality check.
Rudy said the Great Society Act, that's where it started. Lyndon B. Johnson and Great Society welfare state wrecked the American family. Also, free love and the hippies of the 60s. Jake said, I blame the entertainment industry for trying to make it
Yeah.
sound like marriage is something that just makes you happy, and the idea that it's your partner's job to make you happy.
Yeah.
Just like they think it's their job to, they think their job is supposed to make them happy. Their job, their employment.
Yeah.
Yes. That threw me off, Jake. Also, divorcing marriage from its divine origin. If you're not making vows before Almighty God and understand marriage as an icon and type of martyrdom, it's easy to throw it away. And again, that goes back to that foundational point that we've made on the show numerous times, how religion is removed from society and how godless society has become. Like there is no foundation of faith. Marriage is now just something that you do, and those vows are just words that you say.
It's a $50 state permit or contract, and then what it does is allows you to get on the insurance.
I think you're muted.
Oh, it's a $50, permit or contract, whatever you want to call it, the marriage license, and then it allows you to get different tax breaks, things like that. It's not what it was.
And I think that goes back to the dating
No fault
process.
divorce. Huh.
Right. But the courting process and the dating process, that's changed too. That's deteriorated. So the reasons that you go into a relationship are almost out of obligation now. Like I see many women that are like, why haven't you put a ring on it yet? Why haven't you proposed? And I fucking kid you not. I watched this video the other day where this girl and this guy are dating, and she took a picture, or like it was video clips. She had taken them. You could tell it was over a very long period of time. They would be on a date, they would be doing something or whatever, and she put her hand like up in the, so she's like videoing him with this phone, this hand, and then she put her hand like up in his face like this. And what she's doing is she's gesturing that she wants him to propose to her through all of these videos. And then she ends up breaking her hand, and she keeps doing it. So you see, like, she goes through this casting process and all this, and finally he proposes to her. And it was just like that would be so annoying. I feel like that's annoying.
I think that we are looking at this through a lens as if these kids grew up when we grew up, and they just did not.
Yeah.
Right.
Who is teaching them to get married? Who's taught them that? Their single mother? Is that, or their single grandmother?
Right.
Or their dead great grandma? That there is a picture up there. It's black and white, but I know there was a man in the house at some point, but they don't. It's a myth. And guess what? The next door neighbors and their next door neighbors the same way. And this side too. Oh, and across the street. So why aren't you courting her? Why aren't you asking for her? How do they know to do that? It's not their fault. They've not been taught. It's our fault. And now I don't know how you put the mustard back in to the bottle.
So how does what happens moving forward? Like, how does this situation have any sort of resolution other than the total and complete destruction of society?
There might be some blood on this ground before it's over.
Jake said, I've seen women turn down raises and hours so their child support doesn't get reduced.
Yikes. Yeah.
I don't
See,
even want to talk about that. I'm done with that now.
De-incentivizing, self-improvement even.
What did you say, Chris?
I don't want to talk about child support. It's a deep-rooted scar. We're done with that now.
Okay, so on to another mom subject of the evening. Pro-life mothers considered radicalized by the Department of Homeland Security. Did you guys see this?
For fuck's sake.
Is this part of the greatest threat to our national security?
Yeah, white supremacy, America's just said today.
Yep. So I'm going to pull up this article real fast. Okay. So the Department of Homeland Security listed pro-life mothers. Now, mind you, it's only pro-life mothers as potential radicalization suspects in a violence prevention training guide just days after Biden took office. DHS's Office of Terrorism and Violence lists profiles of various domestic extremists in an internal memo dated January 29th of 2021, including a middle-aged pro-life advocate, and asks participants to make real-life decisions to confront each. So the profile, it says, this is Anne, a resident of Elkville in rural America. Anne has always been religious, but since the death of her mother, she's become increasingly devout. She's a regular in the small town community, active in several church groups. I know.
No.
The travesty.
She probably
has
makes
always
banana
been
bread for the fundraiser.
While she's always been protective of her 4 kids, she's become increasingly more concerned about the welfare of other children, including the unborn.
She just purchased an AR-15.
It says the document obtained tells the employees to consider ways to address Anne's behavior.
Behavior?
Yeah. After she questions whether the Bible justifies violence in a defense of life during a prayer group meeting, and calls the mayor of her small town a baby killer at a ribbon cutting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Is he a pro-abortion guy?
it doesn't specify his behavior. It only specifies Anne's behavior.
So maybe he's a baby
Maybe he's a
killing.
fucking baby killer.
Well, he's
Maybe
a
that's
baby.
why she called him a fucking baby killer.
He's a baby killing enthusiast.
Hey,
He's
what
not
if
a
all
baby
of the-
killer himself.
Hey, what if all of us degenerate motherfuckers all got together and went and started protesting shit? Millions of us, boy, they would.
They wouldn't know what to do with us. They think Anne going to her Bible prayer meeting is a domestic extremist.
They really think there's 10,000 Timothy McVeighs out there just plotting.
Yes, they do.
It's anybody. Now I just post memes of Trump just to piss people off. I don't even fucking like Trump. But now I just.
Oh, you know what? That you mentioned him real fast, Chris. I just wanted to, I'll forget if I don't say this. So I saw a video that came out. I think maybe it was from this weekend. It was a night video where it's pouring down rain and Trump is speaking to an audience. Like it is torrential downpour and the audience is packed and he's standing up there still speaking. And it just made me think, like, there are so many things that I do not like about Donald Trump. So many things that I could pick on that I don't like about him.
I vote for him, but I mean, I'm just saying that what I know about his personality, I'm
Do you
not
think
like.
Joe Biden would go stand in the rain to talk to people?
No.
Sorry, I think I'm phrasing this wrong. I don't get on my knees and suck the cock of any fucking man. So I'm not going to fucking do that with Donald Trump either. That motherfucker can make bad decisions just like he makes good ones. Is he better of the two? 100%. Yes. But these fucking Democrats are always like, think that everybody that doesn't agree with Biden has just got Trump's dick in his mouth. I'm like, bro, there's a whole, you do not get it, man.
Speaking of which, I'm going to move away from the DHS stuff for a second. Since we're talking about Trump, I want to talk about the town hall. Did you guys see any clips? Did you watch the town hall? Did you guys follow any of this?
I'll be honest with you. I've had only fun, like, trolling liberals that are flipping out about it. I didn't watch it. I don't really watch CNN, so never watched it.
I saw some clips.
I already knew what he's just gonna rub his own dick. I don't need to hear it.
Yeah.
Everything he's gonna say, I already know. He's gonna stop the Ukraine war in 24 hours. He's been saying that. The election was stolen. Yeah, we get it. You said that. Listen, we're just trying to get to 2024 so we can get your fucking ass back in there so we can bridge the gap to to Rudy, I think, is who I'm going to vote for in 2028.
Do not tell Rudy you're voting for him.
Rudy with a permit, the dude from Twitter, 100%. The Okie from Tulsa, I picked that guy.
Oh my God.
And then in 4 years, he'll come to LHH and he'll tag team the next guy, and we'll fucking run her back.
Oh man. Eric, did you watch any of that? Hold on.
Hashtag big shooters. I want 'em all in
Lexi
there.
said, put me on that list of domestic terrorists. Jake said Anne sounds based. She very much does. Jake said
I like
DHS
Anne.
stands for Dickhead Society. Rudy said too late. I'm running. Rudy 2024.
We're doing it now, Rudy.
I'm fine with that.
Hey, we need to make some. Honestly, for PSR, can we
Some
make
shirts?
some fun campaign commercials, and I'll get some shirts made for the website for Rudy.
Oh my
2024.
god.
Rudy with the permit.
Okay.
That's what he is on Twitter. I'm gonna get his icon. Let's get that printed up on some shirts, and let's get this fucking going. Dick shooters all day.
Wait until Exit finds out that Rudy is running for president.
I want to make some really funny fucking commercials for Patriot Sports Radio.
Oh, that's great.
Are you tired of Joe Biden fucking your wife at night? Rudy with the permit.
Oh shit. Eric, did you
There we
watch
go.
any of the Trump stuff?
Yeah, I saw some clips.
What
The
are your
American
thoughts?
that come in and fuck your wife and steal your beer, and you would give him a kiss on the way out. Rudy with the permit. Wait, I'm coming up with some funny shit for t-shirts now in my head. This is gonna be great. Ribeyes for all. America's cut. The people's cut.
Holy shit. Eric, what are your thoughts on the town hall? Like the clips that you saw?
I mean, I thought he pretty much nailed it. I like how he said he wanted to drill. He called the lady nasty. They pretty much centered on that. Anderson Cooper's meltdown was interesting. I think it's all orchestrated for what I don't know, but they wanted us to be looking at that and not thinking about something else. And for whatever reason, they want him to be the candidate because they think they can beat him, which maybe they're making the same mistake twice. I don't know. Because I think there's the middle people who are so sick of everything that's been going on. But then you have that percentage who will just never vote for Donald Trump no matter what, because he's Donald Trump. I think I wish we had somebody else, like another strong contender. Like
Do you think if DeSantis does officially announce and throw his hat in the ring that he can beat Trump in the primary?
Maybe. I don't know. These fucking people are rabid, and there's a lot of them. And if it's
Whoa,
him
wait.
or Biden, I'm voting for him. Like,
Wait. What about this Trump? Hang on. So Trump grabs this chick by the pussy in 1990 something at some time somewhere. We're all not really clear what happened here, and he gets fucking smashed for liability for $5 million. That night, he goes on a CNN town hall. Tell me there wasn't something going on in the back, in behind the curtain when all that shit was going on. We talked about that for 2 days. It meant shit. It was nothing. It didn't even need to be watched. We knew it was going to happen. He's a fucking bulldozer. That's why we would vote for him right there. Because if Jay Ping and him sat down, he treats him the same fucking way. He's going to say, shut up, you're nasty. Except for if it's not televised, he'd be like, shut the fuck up, sit down. In fact, hand me your pie because that looks good and I'm going to eat that now. That's the kind of motherfucker that needs to run the ship. A no-nonsense motherfucker that runs over people, because that's what America is. And if we're not running over people, we're getting ran over. But go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just going to ask, like, both of your responses are interesting. And normally I wouldn't ask somebody like, who do you vote for? Or who are you going to vote for? But I'm curious if it's the primary and you have Vivek Ramaswamy, Ron DeSantis, and Donald Trump primary. I'm not talking about general, but if you have that primary lineup, who are you voting for?
I'd vote for DeSantis probably.
When's the primary?
It's next spring.
So holler at me next spring. Because I don't know.
Okay.
There's a lot can happen. I mean,
I think same kind of attitude, but fresher, more modernized.
I
Well, I
think
guess maybe
palatable
the reason
idea.
I'm asking right now, Chris, is because I'm curious if that's going to change. Like as we move
by
through
next
the
time
season.
they'll all be probably in jail. So it doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
I like Vivek Ramaswamy. I number one, I'd like to say I'd like to see them all in office. All right, at different areas,
Yeah.
but probably, I mean,
What do you think
DeSantis
of
is kind
Vivek's
of sipping on his
suggestion that
dick
you
right
shouldn't be
now.
able to vote until you're 25 years old?
Well,
like
or he didn't just say that though. You can pass the
You
civics
can pass
test
the
at
civics test.
18,
Yeah.
or you can even fill out your selection service card.
Yeah.
No, he's just trying to tie it to some kind of civic duty and then
Yep.
give it to you at 25 if you just stood your ground and said, I just hate civics.
we want an informed voting public.
Citizenry.
Right.
You want an informed citizenry.
And that's what's really sad, right? We don't have one right now.
No.
No.
God bless. I have been on Twitter too much now. Now I know. Now I know people are fucking out there. And the
man.
problem is that you can't argue with them because that's what they've been taught. So in their mind, that is the truth.
Mark Twain said, never argue with an idiot. They'll drag you down to their level and beat you with experience.
Yep. It's true.
It's really interesting when you get into any sort of like debate. I don't even want to like call it that, but they really like throwing out token phrases like the word Constitution, but they've never read it. The founding fathers, but they have no fucking clue what they
Founded.
stood for in any way, shape, or form. They just like tossing out this stuff. And then the minute that you push back or make them feel stupid, really is what you're doing, they block you
Mm-hmm.
or they call you names and then block you. Like there's no like, they are not willing to be wrong.
No, because it all falls apart. If they're wrong about one thing, the
Yeah.
whole fantasy land falls apart.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like when we talk about discourse and stuff like that doesn't exist for them.
They need to exist in a separate reality, or none
Yeah.
of it works.
What were you going to say, Chris?
You guys are saying it. They just, you know, I've just seen how it's the it's the education system, really. And it's two parents. When there's a 2-parent home, you have a shot. If it's a 1-parent home, you can't make it and survive because you can't be at home that much because you have to work.
Yeah.
It's expensive out there. It's just very expensive to live right now.
Rudy said, Joey, you're the VP. Joey said DeSantis is who he would vote for if it was right now. Fox said Spaghetti Man.
Who's that? I don't know who Spaghetti Man is.
I think he's talking about, gosh, what's that guy's name? He were the Pastafarian or whatever. I think
is RFK making any noise anymore, Heather? Is that going to be a deal, or is the DNC just going to shut it like way?
Well, I mean, he's making noise, but they're not going to let him publicly challenge or go against them.
They're going to Bernie him.
We need a new party for Rudy to run under too. Is it the LHH?
The LHH is its own party.
What if that was a political party in 20 years and Heather was like, what the fuck happened?
Oh my God, that'd be fucking crazy. Jake said, wait until they're writing the civics test. Fuck.
In cursive.
What else did we have? Oh, the George Santos charges. I wanted to talk to you guys about this because this actually provoked a pretty interesting debate. And I hate that Exit is not here to challenge or debate this with us. But so supposedly, and again, he has tons of charges for like wire fraud, election commission, all of that kind of stuff. But the supposedly, oh wait, okay, just kidding. Fox said no, Spaghetti Man is the Italian DeSantis. Oh man. Okay, so supposedly George Santos got caught because a staffer outed him, like told on him. So I made a post, I was like, hot take, and this is because of Fox, by the way. I said, hot take: normalize staffers telling on all the politicians' crimes, like outing all of the stuff that they're doing wrong.
Yeah.
And but there was some pushback, and even Joey gave some pushback on this. Exit did. They were like, well, if you are permissive of that, then you move into a situation where you're permissive of people leaking Supreme Court justice decisions in advance, like what happened with the Roe v. Wade stuff. And I do not equate those two together at all. Like, for me, in my mind, if you are a staffer and you see that the politician you are working for, that is on the public's dime,
Yes.
right, committing crimes, ratting him out is not the same thing or even in the same ballpark as leaking a Supreme Court decision in advance, to me. But the argument was not necessarily that the actions were same, but it was that the celebration and the condoning of the actions. So, for example, I guess this guy who ratted out Santos was like tweeting about it, was like publicly looking for his 15 minutes of fame as the one who brought George Santos down, right? So that his intention was not altruistic of like getting the politician out of office because he's committing crimes. It was
Yeah,
so
there's
that
no
he could get
journalistic integrity here.
right. And so I guess maybe my question is, does the motive matter? Like, for me, I don't care. Go get your 5 minutes of fame, go get your 10 minutes of fame. But does your motivation for the decision to do that, does that really matter in the grand scheme of things?
No, because you're doing a public service.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought too. Joey, since you are in here and Exit isn't, I would love for you to talk about, like, just kind of chime in with your why you disagree with this. And I'll go through a couple more of these. Exit specifically was equating the two together. You're right. Whistleblowing of illegal shit versus above board discretion. So for me, that's for me. Like, I can't believe I'm agreeing with Fox on anything. Like, I never agree with Fox. He's too extreme for me. He's like Alex Jones as my best friend or something. Like, he's fucking crazy. But I do agree with him on this. If you are acting, because that's the discretion of the Supreme Court situation, like, that isn't cool. Like, because what is your intent behind that, right? Like, your intent was to bring harm or at least pressure against the Supreme Court justices in a hopeful expectation to change the decision, right? That's why that
that's what it
decision
was
was
for.
right. Intimidation, right? The George Santos stuff, he was committing crimes. Like, he was stealing unemployment money while serving in Congress. Like, that's a crime. I don't care if you want your 15 minutes of fame, go for it, brother. But if it takes down a shitty politician in the process, then why not? And then here's where it's really interesting. Republicans have a really hard time cheering on one of their own getting brought down. They're like, well, that was before this, and that was, and even McCarthy came out and he was like, well, I'm gonna read the charges and we'll see if he should, and it's just like, what? Can we not just call shitty people out for shitty behavior?
Yeah.
Or
What's wrong with
criminal
that?
behavior? Joey said, my point is that a good tree can only bring forth good fruit, and a corrupt tree corrupts fruit. So do you think that because it was ill-gotten, or if the
I don't know if corrupt. Shady.
yeah,
Out of
shitty,
bounds.
right? Yeah. Be like, my boss was doing insider trading and I went and ratted him out. Like, he's doing insider trading, but should I be loyal to my employer? You know, like, that's the question.
Yep.
Oh man.
I had the chat turned off in on Getter on accident, and I
Oh, okay.
apologize to
Holy
everybody.
shit. And I have not been checking Rumble. Okay, Heavy Steps has been
Oh God!
super
Oh, he'll have a
loyal
whole
over there.
conversation.
I'm sorry, Heavy. I love you so much, and I sincerely apologize. So real quick, he said, "What's good? Technology has changed it all. All these kids born now don't know anything other than the internet, phone, social media. They're wired different. You already know who I'm voting for in 2024. Happy Mother's Day. If Trump runs, he isn't winning. We can have a strong-minded leader, but Trump ain't it. They should just lock up Hillary and Trump in the same cell. Voting is a right. If you can go to war at 18, you should be able to vote." Going back to the Vivek Ramaswamy thing, GOP trying to make it harder for young kids to vote. Voting should be a right, just like owning a gun is our right. We don't want to make it harder to get a gun, so why make it harder to vote? Our education system sucks. We're
Yeah, it needs
teaching
to
our
be
kids the
fixed.
wrong shit in school. Lock them all up. George Santos and AOC should be forced to be a couple. Rightful punishment for both. Heavy,
would be
I love
fair.
Jesus,
you
Heavy's just going off over there.
Heavy, I love you so much for the last statement. Rightful punishment for both. Make them be a couple.
And then let Dennis troll him for a year.
Yeah, no shit. Oh my god.
No
Lord.
holds barred, no prison sentence.
Rudy said the motive of the accuser points to the charges being trumped. The Supreme Court decision wasn't illegal by definition. Think the whole Santos thing from day one is funny. The media and DNC only has themselves to blame that he got elected for no due diligence. Similar to Pennsylvania, who let a fucking dead man and a cognitive degenerate be elected. Yes, that's my point. Actions taken by malintent are immediately corrupted by the intent itself. St. Gregory the Dialogist illustrates this point the best. And Rudy said voting is a privilege, period. Ooh, Rudy and Heavy are going to get into a fight here in a minute.
What is old baby Ruth doing anyway? Has he been appearing in public?
Voting is a privilege. It can be stripped away.
Yes.
You're one felony away from your right to vote being gone. I mean, a lot of people are passing stuff, or did they pass that in the federal government? I don't know. But by different states have different laws. But it's definitely not like a constitutional right.
No, it's not.
It's more of those I feel like words that Democrats use, like democracy, these catchwords that make
That's
you
stake,
feel
Chris.
like,
Democracy's at stake.
yeah, they
Right.
make you feel like, oh, our government. So the kids, like my kids, are taught different, but they tell me like they'll have arguments when younger, well, a few years younger, because they're just getting into it, about we're not a constitutional, we're a democracy, Dad. You know that we vote. And I'm like, God, sit down. This is going to take a minute. But the moral of the story is that we're a constitutional republic with a democratic representation. Is how I see it. How do you see it, Heather?
I see that we're a constitution. That's what we are. We are a
It's
constitutional.
right. I'm right,
republic.
right?
Yeah.
But with the democratic representation. But we're not mob rule.
When I think of a democratic representation, I think of majority rules, and we aren't. That's not who we are.
So it's called something different. And that you're thinking more like Rome. Mob rule.
Yeah.
So like totalitarian, no, that's not it. But anyways, there's another word for that. But I think we're a constitutional republic, and then we have democratic representation at the federal level. This is the federal level we're talking about.
Right.
Because at the state and then the local level, so I think our government's like a big ass carrier, and it doesn't turn. It's in molasses and it doesn't turn and move very well. But the local government's your battleship, and you can make it move and turn with your popular opinion. But we don't want the whole country being California, and that's exactly what would happen.
Right.
Yep.
And they fucking get so mad that they only have 2 senators. God, they get mad. But that's the representation part.
Yeah.
It's only fair.
Rudy said voting only exists because government exists. It's not natural or God-given.
No.
Big facts.
I better go over and see what Heavy's doing. He's probably ripping my
I
head
know
off.
Heavy's like going to be really mad at us now. Guns can be stripped away. Felons, we are a republic. The feds need to stop trying to run shit. States' rights, baby.
Yeah, I mean, that is the epitome of government without representation, bureaucracy. The ATF just making rules up as they go.
Right. So, like, while they can be, they shouldn't be. Like the Bill of Rights are enshrined because they exist, not because the Constitution guarantees them. They're guaranteed to us at birth. The Constitution is merely a framework for the government to work within. And you can't, when you talk about inalienable rights, life, liberty, property, pursuit of happiness, like those are inalienable rights. And if you have the right to life, you have the right to defend yourself. So I'm an extremist when it comes to this, Heavy. When you say guns can be stripped away, like I think felons should have the right to carry and keep and bear arms. If you have been deemed in society safe enough to be out of prison, you should have the right to defend your life. And that means you have the right to carry a firearm. Period. I don't make any like, and I know that's an extreme position. I know that not a lot of people agree with me on that position. A lot of people will be like, well, what if they murdered somebody or what if they raped somebody? Well, they should either be dead or in prison. Like if they're so bad, if they're so unsafe for society that they can't even be considered safe enough to defend their own life, then they shouldn't be in society.
That's it.
Yeah.
Boom, nailed it.
So there are a lot of people that don't agree with me on that position, but
yeah, they don't agree, but they're not right. So if I'm holding an apple, you can disagree that it's an apple, but you're fucking wrong. So I don't give a fuck. That's so simple.
It is simple.
God damn, law of nature. We need that to come back a little bit.
Joey said, see also Matthew 5 and 6, fasting and prayer are good things and profitable for the soul, but when you do so for the praise of men, they condemn the soul. Listen, Joey.
It's getting deep.
Your
evening.
heart. I don't know if you're meant for this world.
Absolutely, and there should be more. That's
no, I know.
issue.
I was just
Not
kidding.
enough.
I think that there should be 1,000 Joeys right here in this chat right now. I wish Twitter was nothing but Joeys. It would be a completely different fucking place.
It would.
Okay, so 2 more
pleasant.
things on my list that I'd like for us to discuss before. I just want to kind of hear your thoughts on this. Did you guys see that Nina Jankowicz sued Fox News?
That's fucking awesome.
What?
So Nina Jankowicz was the disinformation governance board, like the 2 weeks that it lasted for the Department of Homeland Security. She was the Mary Poppins bitch that's like, don't say anything that's misinformation. And she's like fucking with her red lipstick across her face. Like,
okay. Yeah.
She's suing Fox News.
She's suing Fox News for defamation.
That's awesome.
She isn't. There's some donors in the back suing her. I'm sure.
To be. So she's like, even after I quit my job, they called me the czarist or something like.
Yeah, it's clever.
Fucking A, Heather. If you're not safe, you stay in prison. If you're a murderer or rapist, you should be in subterranean housing.
Yep.
So she's suing them for defamation. Well, whoever's funding this lawsuit is suing them for defamation. And it's really interesting because one of the grounds by which she's suing them is that she's suggesting that she was never going to censor speech that was not the goal of the disinformation
Why even
board.
create it?
Right. Yeah. And it even says like to police speech. Like that's what they're like, to make sure there's no bad speech. She's
Yeah.
like, well, I wasn't ever going to do that. What, bitch? You were heading up the entire fucking organization.
Yeah. Okay,
But
demolition lady.
so I said this on Happy Hour Friday night, but the one thing that I'm incredibly excited about this, if this does, like, if she pursues this and keeps moving forward with it, it's going to force Fox News and, well, I don't care about Fox News, but it's going to force the government to have to disclose this board and what its intentions were. All of their emails, all of their correspondence, all of that stuff will be eligible for discovery. So similar to what we got in the Tucker Carlson defamation, like text messages and all of that stuff, I can't wait to see what was going on behind closed doors for these people. Show
Yeah.
me what the government was going to do with the disinformation governance board.
FEMA camps. You gonna put us all in the FEMA camps?
That's
That's
a whole
really
new
weird.
podcast. Probably we could get into that.
The last thing, did you guys see there's a family suing? I can't remember if it's the state or the schools, but there were children in Colorado that were being secretly transitioned. Did you guys see this?
What the fuck is wrong
No.
with people?
That's Gorbel's shit.
So, I have two more things I want to talk to you guys about. Okay. So, two families in Colorado are suing their children's school district after the school encouraged their 6th grade
Yikes.
children to join an LGBTQI plus club and told them to keep it a secret from their parents.
Hmm.
The LGBT club, which taught the children about puberty blockers, transgenderism, hormones, sex, and pronouns, implicitly told the children not to inform their parents. One of the teachers also actively encouraged children to become trans and rewarded those that came out with gifts, trans flags, and toys.
Yikes.
The lawsuit has been filed on behalf of the parents by America First Policy Institute. So now, not only are they encouraging it, they're rewarding it. If you, as a 6th grader, so I'm thinking about this in perspective, this is my daughter's age, right? Like she's going into 6th grade right now. And think about like how impressionable that age is. And you're telling them, here's what it's good to be. And as soon as you come out, I'm going to give you all of these prizes for doing so. And, like that, it's just fucking crazy, man. It's
Yeah.
starting to reach a fever pitch.
Yes, that's the words I was thinking too. It's a bit much.
So I don't know how much longer. I can see it start. It's going to start breaking down in public, where people will start pushing back on crime themselves.
Yeah, you have to.
How much longer before parents aren't showing up at school boards, but are just going in there and grabbing those teachers and being like, the fuck, by the throat?
So interesting that you say when the public is going to start handling this shit, because that
it
goes
needs to
back
be
to the
handled.
Marine in New York who is
Yeah.
currently being charged for 2nd-degree manslaughter.
What is that about?
Yeah.
That's about a mayor and a DA getting together under huge amounts of political pressure on a staged protest. Those protesters are not getting down that fucking track unless they fucking know that train's going to stop. No, you can't fucking convince me otherwise. This is a fucking setup. They're planned. Everybody's in on this.
Yeah.
This is
It's
bullshit.
really sad. It's sad. I am really happy. I saw this evening his fund, his defense fund has
Like $1
surpassed $1
million?
million now.
Yep, it was like 1.2 last I
Yeah.
saw.
So
But still,
That tells you where the public sentiment is.
here's where I see that. They're going to charge him. And then they're going to have to get it. If they charge him, can they get it? Can they go around? So they went around a grand jury already.
they're going to, so they've charged him with the crime
Mhm.
and they're going through grand jury proceedings right now.
So
to
I'm
convict.
not sure, because even
Or
if the
indict,
grand
whatever.
even if the grand jury says, yeah, you guys can indict him, because the bar's really low in that
Yeah.
to get it to
Well,
court.
there's no defense.
Well, yeah. So he's going to get 2 juries of his peers, basically. And I don't know that he gets I think New York. I don't think New Yorkers know what's going on. In fact, I think a lot of them would stand with this guy.
They ride the train. Yeah,
Yeah.
If you
they
get
know
him out
better
of the
than us.
city,
Do what?
if you get him out of the city, he gets a fair trial.
Yeah.
You keep him
Maybe.
in New York City proper.
You don't
You
think
will
they
not get a
know
fair
the
trial.
people in New York City proper don't know what's going on in that subway?
Chris, the same
They just
group
need
of people
one.
just convicted Donald Trump of a rape that took place in a.
That's fucking Donald Trump on a liability civil case.
I don't think.
I'm just saying that. All right, maybe I have too much faith in the citizenry, but I would think that out of 12, you'll get a few common sense folks that would be like, nah.
Yeah. Like, we can't.
Rudy said secret transition is playing with dozer fire.
Mm-hmm.
Joey said groomers.
Mm-hmm.
Fox said fathers must become war criminals to stop
Facts.
this. Jake said we need to start a citizens witness protection program. Help guys like this disappear. Fuck
Yes,
I like
fuck
that.
yes. I'm down for that.
That's a good idea.
If Daniel Penny was riding the same train I took every day, I'd feel so much less anxious about it.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joey, I saw what you were saying about Daniel Penny earlier today, so I don't want to hear about you right now. Joey has a thing for men in uniforms.
Yeah, I mean, I get on a bus or a plane or in a public area and I see a big dude in a grunt style shirt with a his head shaved off. I'm like, all right, we're good. Shit goes down,
See,
that guy's gonna handle it.
most of us would have killed that guy, or I don't know about killed him, but because he wasn't in a chokehold, he was in a blood hold. Basically, is what it was. It's much different.
Know what any of that means?
Well, it's so one is for your carotid artery just to put you to sleep, and then one's to crush your crush your throat and kill you. And he went the blood way. He was the right way. It's it's defensive. It's not malicious. He just if you don't know, number
Well,
one.
and you've got that
I don't
adrenaline pumping. You don't know how long you've been holding it.
Well, not so much that he's an ex-Marine. You don't know how weak this guy is. What his life has been like. How is his heart? How many drugs
Right.
has he taken in his life? There's a lot of variables that go into this. But I don't think that if his intention was to kill him, that Marine would have snapped his fucking neck, Heather.
I'm sorry, I'm not laughing at you.
No.
I apologize.
The lingerie comment?
Yes. Yes, Chris, you're right. You don't the idea that you don't know what he was also a chronic drug user too. And so I think that probably played a role.
If he had an intent to kill him, he would have just snapped his neck.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That training is right there.
Yep.
So he intentionally put him in a blood hold or a carotid artery hold and not a choke hold.
Right.
Intentionally. So he's got him like this. The crease of his elbows here, right? It's not putting pressure here. It's putting pressure here on your carotid artery just to settle you the fuck down.
Right.
All right. If he holds it too long, he got a little too tight. Other people are maneuvering him, so his head might be moving, and maybe he got a little bit too tight. But there was, I think it's going to be hard to prove an intent to kill him. That's probably the second-degree manslaughter charge. But
they'll have Joe Rogan in there talking about chokeholds, and he'll be fine.
Yeah, exactly, Jake. It's two different holds. It's not the same.
Well, it's two different behaviors.
It's a submission hold.
He even puts him in a recovery position afterwards. Like there was no ill intent. And the reason that they charged him with that second-degree manslaughter is specifically because the actions that he took, and I'm trying to remember exactly the legal wording, but the actions that he took, he knew that it was possible that he could die, which is stupid. Other passengers went to help Penny subdue the guy, which tells you who the aggressor was. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So
They weren't trying to save that guy.
No.
if this guy gets convicted, we're gonna freak out. I'm gonna freak the fuck out. Because here's the deal: if you steal 56% of my labor, and then you tell me that I have to sit in this, fuck you.
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna fucking
Yep.
take care of it and go write exempt. I hope Daniel Penny writes exempt on every one of his fucking jobs from now on. Fuck them. Because if they steal so much of our fucking labor and they can't make the fucking subway, you steal our labor, you tell us we can't fucking drive, and they made it impossible to fucking drive around there.
Yep.
It's fucking impossible. And then you fucking make you feel like shit if you fucking buy a gallon of gas. And then you're like, but you have to put up with that because that he has just as right to as you do. No, fuck you.
Right. Yeah.
Now the citizenry will take care of it itself. And that's the law of nature. AOC can't stop that. Mayor Adams can't stop that. Brad can't stop that. Nobody can stop that. That's nature. That's going to find a way. Nature will find a way.
That's what it does.
Yes.
Yep. Always. Okay. That I think is a good segue. It's almost 10, so I'm going to do 2 truths and a lie. Are you guys ready for that?
Born ready.
I need to make.
Look, I'm already starting to get my raccoon eyes from my sunglasses all summer.
That's awesome. Okay, so if you are new tuning in, I know there's a couple new people over on Twitter today. If you are new tuning in, we do a segment called 2 Truths and a Lie. And I have written one story. It is not true. The other 2 stories are, in fact, true. You are not allowed. Today's Mother's Day. Don't cheat. You are not allowed to look up the answers. You have to just guess which story is the lie. So,
what is
I'm
this?
gonna go
Fucking Germany? Jesus fucking Christ. Not allowed. Got the.
Okay. Yes, I'm going to get the mom handout on Mother's Day. Don't cheat on
Yes.
Mother's Day.
No, that'd be terrible.
She did have it though. She was like, boy, if we go to Indy Park next year, like this one, it's fall, right? Fall.
Yeah.
So
October.
if we roll down to Indy Park, I'm gonna ask Ainsley. I'm gonna be like, can you do your mom's finger?
That's what it is. Oh, I got her the other day. Oh, she ran her mouth. Ooh. It's bad. Okay. Are you guys ready?
Oh, don't do
Yeah.
that in front of the Taliban art dealer. I read on Twitter that
Argento?
I read on Twitter that when he was little, Joe Biden he was in a ball pit with Joe Biden, and Joe Biden put a finger up his ass. He's gonna sue him.
Interesting.
That might trigger. We don't
I
want
wish
to do that.
Argento came to the show. So
Yeah,
we'll have him on sometime.
legit. He
and-
was it was at a Chuck E. Cheese in the 80s. He said Joe Biden put his finger right up his butthole.
Yikes.
He's not serious. Oh,
It's on the
man.
fucking internet, Heather. My God,
Yeah.
what's wrong with you?
Bonjour. There's a commercial that I'll have
He's
to
got
show
it-
you sometime.
He's got a half box, half woman eating pancakes in his profile. Pretty sure that's real. So,
Oh, did he change
Yeah.
it from the hooker that's laying on the table with the cocaine on her tits
oh
that
wait,
he's
the
licking
new
off?
one's way better. I
Oh.
have that. I had that profile picture. I had one just like it in our group text for work. Cocaine and hookers, it's called. All right, what do
Okay,
you
are
got?
you guys ready?
Born ready.
Okay. Story number 1. A remote Japanese town has taken to selling bear meat from a vending machine, sourcing its supply to Asian black bears, listed as a vulnerable species, caught in traps or in the mountains by hunters. Bear attacks are an increasing problem in parts of rural Japan due to a shortage of food in the forests that bring the animals to inhabited areas to forage. Asian black bears are listed as vulnerable, but not critically so, and so it's legal to eat bear in Japan. Meat from trapped bears is tastier since the blood is drained immediately. That's story number 1. Story number 2.
They do sell underwear in vending machines, I heard. So
A
maybe.
Dutch court ordered a man who judges said has fathered between 500 and 600 children around the world to stop donating sperm. The 41-year-old Dutchman, identified as Jonathan Meyer, was forbidden to donate more semen to clinics, the court ruling said. he could be fined 100,000 euros per infraction.
Ooh, not worth it anymore.
The court also ordered Meyer to write to clinics abroad asking them to destroy his semen that they have in stock.
Wow, this
except
guy sucks.
Doses reserved for parents who already had children by him. That is story number 2.
He's
Wait,
getting
what did he do
recalled.
wrong? Why is he getting recalled?
He's getting recalled like a Toyota 4Runner transmission.
Why is he getting
Story
recalled?
number 3.
Hold
In
up.
a very surprising move, the city of San Francisco has announced plans to ban the sale of all new cars powered by gasoline or diesel engines within the city limits beginning in 2025. The ban is
Oh,
part of the
wow.
city's larger effort to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and combat climate change, and would make San Francisco the first major city in the United States to enact such a sweeping measure. Under the new policy, car dealerships would be prohibited from selling new gasoline or diesel-powered vehicles, though residents would still be allowed to own and operate older vehicles with internal combustion engines. The city would also incentivize the purchase of electric and hybrid vehicles and invest in the development of alternative fuels and transportation infrastructure. 1, 2, and 3. Which one is the lie?
I think 2.
Do, 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 do. We need to put Jeopardy on our little soundbite.
Yes.
Have you been checking Rumble?
Oh shit, nope. Fuck. Heavy, just forgive
probably-
me.
Just watch,
He said there
just
are
watch
no
on
more
YouTube.
reliable sources. What about the girl who identified as a cat and demanded she have a litter box? That happened in Indiana, by the way. Teaching these kids that stuff and insane, totally against that. I don't mind people choosing to be whatever they want later in life. Stay away from the kids. What do you think is the true number of teachers who want to force this shit on these kids? Do you think it's in comparison to teachers who prey on their students? More or less the same. It's interesting you asked that, Heavy, and I personally, it's like I've been observing, like, even as my daughter like moves her way through school, and I have started recognizing that there are a lot more male teachers beginning in the middle school than there are. She made it through 2 elementary schools with all female teachers.
Hey, hold up. Do we have somebody? I looked on Rumble.
Yes,
Steve-
Stevie Ray said story 1 is the lie.
Yeah, I think he's right. I'm on story 1.
Story 1. So you say 1. Fox says 1. The Stevie Ray says 1. Wait,
Oh,
Heavy,
right.
do you have a
Lexi's-
guess before I say which story's the
Lexi
lie?
says 1.
You guys have learned nothing. I'm going to be on an island again with story number 2, and I'm going to be the only winner again.
You're not.
Nope,
you're not on an
Joey and
island.
Jake both said number 2 also.
Okay. Yeah, see, Joey's a smart
It's
guy. That
split.
doesn't
It's
surprise
really
me.
split tonight.
Yep, it's between 1 and 2. The really crazy thing is story number 3 is the lie.
Son of a bitch!
Rudy came in at the last
Rudy
minute.
came in on the tail. Number 3
Yeah, he
is
got
the
it because he
lie.
said it before.
Yep, he did.
See, you asked a follow-up question on the second story, and she seemed like she avoided it. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay, she wasn't ready for that. It's the second one. So,
No, because I can't answer questions because then I would know the answer if it was true. Like I can't make it up.
oh, yeah.
Wait, what
Okay.
part? No, all of story number 3 is fake. That never happened. I just wrote that today. The
I
city of
should've
San
known
Francisco
because
is
it's
not
It was the
banning.
one. It was the one that was actually believable.
Yeah, because
Like,
yeah.
they just passed reparations for fuck's sakes.
Well, they didn't. They talked about
They
it.
didn't. The board that
Passed it.
recommended them passed them,
recommended it.
but the governor rejected it. The governor's
That
like, "Fuck no, I'm not
motherfucker.
paying
He
the black
said, "I
people
already
any
got my
money."
votes, homie, and now I'm good."
Lexi, no, they did not outlaw functional cars. Stevie
we-
Ray said,
are we
"Wow,
caught up in the
absolutely
chat?
wow."
I know by 2035 they want that though. Europe does.
Are
And
we caught up
California.
in the chat here, Heather?
We are.
Let's read down it.
Joey said the Japanese are weird and degenerate, so we knew that was true.
Yeah, they sell panties in vending machines. I mean, they'll sell bears.
Fox said, can't imagine a Dutch being anything but a cock. Heavy said, number 2, he was also wrong. San Francisco loves poop-filled streets. California is a weird state. So real quick, over on the stories, what was the question you asked about the sperm? Why was he being rejected? So no shit. It says the decision came after a civil case started by a foundation representing the interest of donor children and Dutch parents who used him as a donor. They argued because he's continuing donations, he's violating the right to a private life of his donor children, whose ability to form romantic relationships are hampered by fears of accidental incest and inbreeding. Because
Yeah.
he's donated and produced so many kids through sperm donations, it's creating a fear that the kids are going to be incest. They're going to be dating their fucking half brother.
Yep. That makes
Which I
sense.
thought was
We
really
missed comments
fucking
up
crazy.
here though.
Wait, what?
Who in the
Comments
what
up
now?
where?
Joey was talking about, but there's optics and politics here. If they can't convict, we're looting.
Oh shit, I
Bass
missed
Pro.
that. Oh yeah, here we go. 2 other passengers, that's got to be accessory.
Oh, so because they jumped, because 2 of them helped him, right?
Yep.
So are they even talking to him? One was no.
To my knowledge, no.
Okay. They got to come in.
there's-
They'll have to be brought in.
Yeah. If they convict, we're looting Bass Pro.
Fuck yeah. Joey.
That's great.
Hell yeah, Rudy. Because hey, I'm an Oklahoma boy too.
Rudy, can I be SecDef? Jake said, or I'll take ATF and make it distribute alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. I love that.
Nice.
Yeah,
I made a comment yesterday.
Comment and I can't pull them up.
Wait, what?
You keep missing the best comment of the night, and I can't pull it up.
Where is
It's
which
Rudy.
one is it?
Like you went, there it is. There, you nailed it.
Chris and I may be long lost brothers.
Oh, she didn't want to hear. She didn't want to hear anybody say that I could talk.
No, I did not. That is not true. It's hard to keep up, and I keep flipping back and forth. I apologize. Rudy, you and Chris probably are long lost brothers. It'll be a great president, vice president, ribeyes instead of Donald Trump with his Big Macs on the table. You guys will just have ribeye steaks all over the table.
Every night.
So he said Chris needs a beat machine. If you have Argento on, this account will get nuked for lewd content. That's true. Okay. I think that's it. We're gonna call it a night. Eric's gotta go home, go to bed. I gotta put the kids to bed. Chris has to eat dinner. All right. We love you guys. You guys take care.
Good guys.
Have a wonderful evening.